acids, including EPA and DHA. Clinically studied, backed by over 30 years of research. Stay tuned.
Omega XL. Power your health.
Time check. Courtesy Alive by Nature's Way. Distributed by H&J Enterprises Limited.
Good evening and welcome. You're watching the 7 o'clock news on CNC3. I'm Ria Rambali.
I'm Akash Samaru.
I'm Jovan Ravello with Sport.
And I'm Jamal Prabhasad with your weather.
Let's tell you what's making the news tonight. Horrific discovery in Valencia as Candace Honore's body is found chopped and stuffed into a suitcase. Tonight we learn more about the 22-year-old who went missing.
To supplement human resource shortfall, Cabinet approves the absorption of 800 SRPs into the police service.
In sport, progress at last as the TTFA, Selwyn Melville and Ministry of Sport meet to discuss Soca Warriors' identity.
Strong winds across Trinidad last night. I'll show you how they formed in tonight's weather report.
What began as a desperate search ended in horror for the Honore family. Human remains believed to be those of 22-year-old Candace Honore were discovered dismembered and stuffed into a suitcase at the bottom of a shallow pond in Valencia.
Candace had been missing for days. Honore's relatives are revealing that she had been living in fear, a silent victim of domestic violence.
Police are now searching for a male suspect and 2 others in connection with her murder. Here's Annalisa Paul with the details.
We've been in the business 5 years now, and I'm saying categorically this is the most gruesome find we've made.
The search for 22-year-old Candace Honore ended here today at Oroput Road in Valencia after a suitcase was pulled from a shallow pond, which supposedly contained the remains of Miss Honore. Honore was reported missing earlier this month, and a search had been underway by the Hunter Search and Rescue Team, who discovered the suitcase at around 6:30 a.m.
It's a brown water there. That's where the suitcase was.
Michael Honore's heart sank when search teams lifted a suitcase from a pond in Valencia. Inside, a decapitated body believed to be that of his missing daughter Candace. The 22-year-old was last seen on July 8th when she left home for work. When she failed to return home 2 days later and calls to her cell phone went unanswered, her sister reported her missing. Valence Rambarat says bits and pieces of information led his team to Oroput Road, where they located the suitcase and contacted the Valencia police.
We opened the suitcase, we unzipped the suitcase, we lifted the cover, and we stepped back. But from our observation, what we saw was black and clear plastic bags inside. The officers approached, and they shortly thereafter indicated to me that what they had observed was a human hand in one of the bags.
Her father, Michael Honore, rushed to the area where his daughter's remains were reportedly found. He says in the absence of a positive identification, he has accepted that it is Candace in the suitcase. Michael recalls last interacting with his daughter briefly while in traffic the day before she went missing.
I was on a busy note at the point in time, but God knows what he's doing. Put me in place to see that girl at that moment.
The senior Honore is still grappling with the loss of his daughter.
For it to reach this distance with Candace there right now, this wasn't really accepting to me from day one. I wasn't seeing it.
At the family's home, Candace's mother, sister and other relatives were too grief-stricken to speak on camera and remained visibly shell-shocked. They were comforted by Toco Sangre Grande MP Wayne Sturge. Candace's sister told CNC3 News her sister was a victim of domestic violence and would often come home with bruises about her body but never went to the police. Investigators are now searching for a male suspect who's well known to Candace and her family, as well as 2 other men who they believed played a part in the dumping of the body. An autopsy is expected to be performed on Friday. Annalisa Paul, CNC3 News.
And in the wake of Candace Honore's murder, Minister of Homeland Security Roger Alexander is warning women to be cautious when using social media, especially for dating. He
said all murders are taken seriously, but declined to go into specifics about Honore's case.
I want persons, especially females, to be careful with this social media network in terms of their dating behaviors.
Does that have to do something with this particular situation, Ms. Honore?
As a lady, as a female, I tell you also to be careful.
And when asked about an apparent increase in kidnappings during today's post-cabinet media briefing, Minister Alexander couldn't confirm if there have been more kidnappings lately.
Earlier today, the police's media ambassador, Owe Russell, also could not confirm whether kidnappings are on the rise. However, he admitted he did not have the statistics in front of him to confirm or deny any apparent spike. Russell was speaking on the CNC3 Morning Brew program today. He was asked for an update on Janki Sati Karim, who was kidnapped earlier this week.
Firstly, let me say I want to err on the side of caution when I say back on the rise. Back on the rise may put some fear into the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. It is not back on the rise as far as I am aware. You know, we would have to really look at the statistics, but it is not back on the rise.
But we saw some kidnappings over the last week.
Definitely. And which kidnapping are you actually referring to?
Miss Sati Karim.
Okay. That is the situation where the husband
That's correct.
Well, you know, at this time, investigation is taking place.
Meanwhile, Minister Alexander said while government is working on its anti-crime plan, the public also has a role to play in keeping themselves safe. He was asked why he was so vocal as a police officer and a talk show host about solutions to the crime situation, but was so quiet now.
Now, as a line minister, I must be careful in my approach to, in some way, interfere with the investigation. I want the police to do their job. My responsibility is to give the police the tools to do their job. Yeah, and that is my intention. So asking me that at this stage, I wouldn't want to divulge too much. And persons continue to ask about crime plan. It's not a crime plan, it's an anti-crime plan. And as time goes by, you all will be able to get the information.
Staying with Minister Alexander, 800 Special Reserve Police officers will be absorbed into the police service.
The Homeland Security Minister made the announcement at the post-cabinet media briefing, saying that regulations to facilitate this absorption will soon be drafted.
Minister Alexander explained that these officers will assist in covering a 1,500 manpower shortfall within the TTPS.
This waiver of mandatory academic and required entry into the TTPS is to facilitate over the shortfall of over 1,154 vacancies that presently exist. At this time, the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago is looking at all options available to it for the protection of our citizens.
Meanwhile, Legal Affairs Minister Saddam Hussein noted that the move to absorb SRPs into the TTPS will help to reduce what he described as the TTPS's hefty overtime bill. He, however, could not confirm how much was being spent on overtime.
This will in particular address the manpower shortage we have in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service also. And I say that because that is evident, especially from the overtime bill that the TTPS has to incur on a fiscal and yearly basis.
Earlier this year, a group of SRPs published an advertisement in the daily newspapers voicing their frustration over unresolved issues, including calls for absorption into the TTPS, improved retirement packages, and better working conditions.
A political analyst is weighing in tonight on why the ethnic makeup of state boards in this country often shifts depending on which political party is in power.
This follows a controversial comment by PNM Chairman Marvin Gonzalez, who claimed there is racial imbalance on boards appointed by the UNC-led administration.
Now, Gonzalez insisted the PNM approached board appointments differently. But did they really? Tonight, we take a closer look. Away from the Bangladesh and Delhi comment, the PNM's chairman made another bold assertion on Wednesday.
You couldn't bring a cabinet note by Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley with only a certain race being represented.
Okay, let's check how some of those boards looked under the PNM administration and compare them to what they are now in terms of ethnic or racial makeup. Starting with the NGC, we see the PNM administration selected a more inclusive mix of races compared to the current board under the UNC. But the NGC may be the only example of this because, as you'll see with the others, both parties almost mirror each other in terms of their selections. A perfect example is UNICOD's board. Under the PNM, its members were predominantly of African descent, and in the UNC's term, it's mostly made up of people of Indian descent. Let's take a look at WASA. We see that same pattern here. Under the PNM, WASA's board had one dominant race as it pertained to its members. Under the UNC, it's a similar makeup, just with a different dominant race. At TSTT, the last board under the PNM administration, all of its members are of African descent. Under the UNC, 4 of its 5 members are of Indian descent. And finally, with TNTech, we again see mostly people of African descent appointed to that board under the PNM, with the UNC then selecting mostly people of Indian descent. So we can come to 2 conclusions here. There was no real diversity that Gonzalez claimed under his administration, and both parties follow the same playbook when it comes to selecting people to state boards. Political scientist Dr. Vishnu Raghunath said this happens due to the political culture of this country.
Our politics is racially divided, and to that extent, when a party wins an election, they have to they try to support their own support base, and to that extent, they appoint people to boards that will represent more or less their base.
Dr. Raghunath said he'd much rather the focus be on competence of board members over race. Meanwhile, we approached the PNM chairman with our findings, but he'd only say that he hopes people understood that he was not expressing anti-Indian sentiments, but a call for racial balance, as he mentioned that Dr. Rowley did not want the boards to reflect Ghana or Mozambique. However, criticism continues for the PNM chairman. Culture Minister Michelle Benjamin called his comment blatant racism and called for the nation to reject it, adding that the UNC appoints people based on merit, not melanin. And the Congress of the People described it as reckless and inflammatory, and a statement which runs the risk of dividing the nation. Meanwhile, Minister Saddam Hussein called for an end to the race talk.
Stop the race talk. We are about governing. This United National Congress government is about governing for all of the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, today we asked if you agree with the PNM chairman's view that there is ethnic imbalance on state boards.
Here's what some of you had to say.
The People Say, brought to you by Excel Health TT, the official supplement of the CPL.
I disagree 100%. Why? The purpose of my disagreement is that ethnic composition does not determine performance. Firstly. Secondly, whoever has the responsibility for constituting a board does it at his own discretion. Thirdly, there is no written or stated documentation on how ethnic or ethnically a board is supposed to be composed. That is up to discretion.
No. The reason why is when they were in power, they did worse than what the UNC is doing. No, I agree with that. Because I feel that you're the text there.
We're living in a cosmopolitan island, and it should have a balance because I don't think the Indo outrates the African Trinidadians. So anyhow, if you want to become or make it an imbalance, it's very hard because we have so much different ethnicity in here who as qualified as any Indo Trinidadian.
No, I don't agree with him.
Why?
Because as is everything else, whoever in power, they put their people. And you put the most educated ones.
The People Say, brought to you by Excel Health TT, the official supplement of the CPL.
Still to come in the news, parent accuses Mount Hope Hospital of negligence in 4-year-old's death. They're now mounting a lawsuit.
Chief Secretary blames simple error for unaccounted millions in THA travel funds.
Coming up in sport, Brian Lara and coaching educators continue to take Cricket West Indies to task.
Okay, I see you. Okay, let me see you, Cherry Hill. Yeah, now take it back. Let me see you rock off, shake off. Let me see you rock off. Let me see you kick right, now kick left, now step forward, now step back. Lucozade, bring the energy.
Several months after their 4-year-old son died at the Eric Williams Medical Sciences Complex, a couple is now threatening to sue the North Central Regional Health Authority.
In a legal letter issued yesterday, lawyers for Ishwar and Abina Clement claim that their son Aiden died because of the negligence of the hospital staff. He was admitted in late March with leg pain and knee swelling, spent 3 weeks undergoing tests and was sedated for an MRI on April 17th without his mother's consent. He suffered complications during intubation and died despite resuscitation efforts. The NCRHA has 28 days to offer a settlement before the family proceeds with legal action. Well, Chief Secretary Farley Augustine says the Tobago House of Assembly has the documents to account for millions of dollars in overseas travel.
Farley says a simple error impacted submissions to the Auditor General, leading to the travel unaccounted for. Responding to the 2024 report, which flagged $6.8 million in unverified overseas travel, Augustine said the THA used online transactions and the supporting documents existed digitally. Despite accusations of mismanagement, Augustine maintained that the THA followed the Finance Ministry's travel circulars, including Executive Council approvals. But he admits there may have been overpayments at the Tourism Division. He confirmed that the THA's Tourism Division is under investigation for the unexplained travel payments and said additional training will be rolled out for public officers to prevent future errors.
Had I received a management letter, I would have certainly instructed that the relevant documents be printed and given to the Auditor General. That's a simple matter, and there is no way and no reason why those documents weren't provided to verify the ACH transactions.
Augustine also revealed that he only saw the audited report after it was laid in Parliament and said he was never given a chance to respond via a management letter.
Now to this, after the UK government tightened visa requirements on TNT travellers, it has become more expensive and difficult for citizens to visit or work there.
But a member of the European Parliament says the European Union is considering a very different approach. Doris Polo has more in this report.
Good evening, Ria, Akash, and hello to our viewers. Here on the European continent, politicians are weighing the possibility of welcoming more Caribbean nationals, including citizens from Trinidad and Tobago, unlike the United Kingdom, which has imposed harsh visa restrictions on our region. Now, Dutch member of the European Parliament, Mariet Mage, says it's time the European Union sees the Caribbean as more than just a tourist destination. She says it's time the EU opens its doors to more study and work opportunities.
We, from the side of the European Union, not just have our relationship as a trade relationship, but also have a relationship which is broader, so which would include international cooperation, also maybe more possibilities for legal migration, which is probably migration that people want to study or want to work temporarily.
Mage made the comment in a wide-ranging interview with CNC3 News, where she discussed the future of EU-Caribbean relations under the EU CARIFORUM agreement. She says it's time for a fuller package of cooperation that recognizes the region's needs and potential.
So those are all elements, I think, that we have to work on in a fuller package, which maybe goes beyond what the agreement in the EU CARIFORUM right now envisages.
Her remarks come as the United Kingdom has imposed stricter visa rules for TT nationals. Whether these possibilities become real depends on negotiations. But for now, at least one senior EU official is sending a clear message that the Caribbean matters and should have more seats at the table and more freedom to move. No word yet on how soon any new migration pathways could open, and there's been no response from Foreign Affairs Minister Sean Sobers. I'm Doris Polo for CNC3 News in Brussels.
Thank you so much, Doris. The Minister of Trade, Investment and Tourism, Satyakama Maharaj, has announced that the ministry has set a bold strategic target to increase the country's export revenues by $2 billion in the next 2 years.
Meanwhile, Tertiary Education Minister Professor Prakash Prasad is seeking to change TNT's tertiary education landscape to enable universities to make more of its own money.
Andrea Perez-Zobas tells us more in tonight's Business Watch.
Minister of Trade, Investment and Tourism Satyakama Maharaj is taking an aggressive move to increase TNT's export revenues by US $2 billion in the next 2 years and by US $5 billion over the next 5 years.
In the coming weeks, the government will also launch a patriotic, buy local, build TNT national campaign. This is more than a slogan. It is an economic strategy. Every dollar spent on locally produced goods and services helps to reduce imports, conserve foreign exchange, and build economic resilience from the ground up.
Dale Parson, the TNT Manufacturers Association president, says this year the plan for the Trade and Investment Convention is to move that needle to US $1.3 billion with an additional US $100 million in trade generated over the next 3 days on the convention floor.
These relationships are not just transactional. They are trustworthy, intentional alliances that anchor long-term growth and benefit for both the buyer and us. We must carry these relationships forward after the TIC with samples, prices, and mutual agreements.
Maharaj and Parson were speaking at the opening ceremony of the Trade and Investment Convention at Center of Excellence in Macoya last night. Minister of Tertiary Education and Skills Training, Professor Prakash Prasad, wants universities and other tertiary institutions to make at least part of their own money. In an interview with Business Watch, the minister details plans to make education not just a public service, but a strategic contributor to national development.
It wouldn't happen overnight, but we have to start the process. So I've been speaking to all the tertiary level institutions, not only universities, but like UTT, UV, MIC, NESC, etc. and saying, look, you have to earn a certain percentage of your expenditure. We need a plan, and you have to start doing that from now.
How can this be achieved? Minister Prasad says facilities can serve several purposes, hosting conferences, leasing space to startups, or delivering professional services. The minister adds committees have already been set up in this regard to examine the feasibility of these tertiary institutions earning their own money and becoming more efficient in several areas. And now for a look at today's energy and foreign exchange prices. Andrea Perez-Zobas, CNC3 Business Watch.
Thank you, Andrea. Well, the nation's supply chain is facing severe disruption as hauliers and truckers report unprecedented delays and equipment breakdowns at the Port of Point Lisas. The Hauliers Association says loading operations have been severely affected for over 2 weeks, with repeated equipment failures at the container loading bays. Truckers arriving at the port as early as 8 a.m. are often unable to load by 3 p.m., resulting in missed deliveries and forced deferments. President Reza Ali described the situation as a crisis that warrants urgent national attention. He adds that the economic and logistical fallout continues to mount. Last week alone, there was equipment failure on 4 out of 5 working days. In response to the mounting concerns, Plipdeco's Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Curtis Denny, confirmed the company is aware of the situation and assured that matters are being addressed.
In some other news, Assistant Chief Fire Officer Mukherjee Rampasad says necessary steps have been taken to address a rat infestation at the Mayaro Fire Station. Fire officers who asked to remain anonymous contacted CNC3 News to complain about rodents on the compound. The officers also claim that many of them have fallen ill. Rampasad says they have not received such reports, but admitted when the issues were first reported last month, the regional corporation installed rat bait and later sanitized the station.
They had instructed us to do our sanitizing of the fire station 1 week after the baits were placed. The sanitizing was done on the 29th of June into the 1st of July, 2nd of July, using detergent, using sanitizing disinfectants. The station was power washed and cleansed.
Rampasad said OSHA visited the Mayaro Fire Station yesterday, and since sanitization, there have been no reports of rat sightings. President of the Fire Services Association, Keon Guy, added that no reports of officers falling ill were received.
Well, still to come in the news, strong overnight winds caused roof damage, power outages in northeastern Trinidad.
We had generally fair to partly cloudy conditions over both islands today, but a few moderate to heavy showers moved over Tobago this afternoon. Conditions over Trinidad are settled for now, but there's some thunderstorms off to our east. I'll have the details coming up just after the break.
Southern Food Basket. Quality food to fill you.
Hey, pretty lady. I see you looking for some hot sauce. Boy, move it. I have a man. See you. So you don't want no mother-in-law?
Attention, valued shoppers. We are thrilled to celebrate 34 amazing years with you, our loyal customers. A huge congratulations to all our winners.
Hey, don't make joke. I know we're not shopping spree.
What snacks we buying, mommy?
Look, boy, come on, eh? Well, look how I just win a Caribbean getaway now. Rock back. Girl, I know we're not shopping spree, eh? Well, come on, help me now. You don't have a man? Later. Nah.
It's Southern Food Basket's 34th anniversary extravaganza. From July 1st to August 31st. Shop and enter for a chance to win incredible prizes. Caribbean getaways, staycations, shopping spree, and the ultimate grand prize of a brand new Suzuki Grand Vitara.
Welcome to ABC Doors and Windows, TNT's #1 destination for the best quality and widest variety of doors and windows. Enhance your space with our premium wooden, steel panels, fiberglass and steel security doors, complemented by our aluminum, UPVC and steel windows. Shop for the best quality and service at ABC Doors and Windows. Visit our impressive showroom at 1 Chancatrace, El Socorro South, or call 638-7184 to get started. Trust ABC for a better choice.
Welcome.
Your pancreas works overtime every single day. Between our rich foods and busy lives, chronic inflammation can sneak in, stressing the pancreas and raising the risk of complications. Over time, inflammation can damage these cells, making blood sugar harder to control.
Protecting your pancreas from inflammation is a smart way to support healthy blood sugar management.
Backed by science, Omega XL is a natural anti-inflammatory with over 30 free fatty acids, proven to help reduce inflammation at its source. Learn more online or ask your local pharmacist.
This Christmas in July, Bright Ideas is lighting up your home like it's Christmas morning. Unwrap 25% off all lighting, fixtures and chandeliers all month long. From sleek modern pieces to statement chandeliers. It's the perfect time to refresh your space and reveal something bright and beautiful. Check our 8 locations or online at brightideashomestore.com or on the Bright Ideas mobile app. This Christmas in July, it's time to shine. Bright Ideas. Slay the savings.
Welcome back. As dawn broke, residents of Vega de Urupuch began assessing damage from last night's strong winds.
In Milagro Street, a galvanized roof was ripped off a structure and landed in a neighbor's yard. Officials from the Sangre Grande Regional Corporation visited the area today to assess the damage. Powerful winds overnight caused damage in parts of northeastern Trinidad, with reports of fallen trees, power outages, and roofs blown off. The severe weather was linked to a weakening cluster of thunderstorms which passed through the region earlier on Tuesday.
I get real frightened because, to be honest, I thought the sea was coming. The song, it was different. And when I watch outside, like all the trees and everything was like ringing, bending. So to be honest, I went and hid on the side of my bed because I was that frightened. Because the roof, like it was raising off and hitting back. And then when I did walk outside and to see, well, what's happened after the breeze, half of the roof fall inside the journey here and the other half fly across by the neighbor.
Corporation Chairman Kenwin Phillip assured the family that relief will be made available to them. He said he also spoke with Minister of Social Development Vandana Mohit, who promised to assist the family.
This particular roof was all over social media last night, and she said that the ministry is on standby. We'll let her assist in any way to try and expedite whatsoever to bring some kind of relief to the family. I give you the assurance the corporation will work closely with you to ensure that we bring some sort of relief.
Well, according to the Sangre Grande Regional Corporation, 13 incidents were reported.
The majority of reports involved blown-off roofs in areas such as Vega de Urupuch, Brooklyn, Coronation Road, and Northeastern Settlement. Just the guy we want to talk to right now. Last evening, Jean-Marc, I came out in my gallery, I said, "There's a nice breeze." And then 5 seconds later, I was like, "Hard breeze, you can down."
It can stop now.
You can ease up now. What was that?
It was actually a downburst, or several downbursts from thunderstorms that were raining out. And we weren't even under the thunderstorm, but we got almost the full brunt of the winds. And it was maybe about 50 kilometers offshore. And the event lasted for maybe about 45 minutes to an hour. So what exactly is a downburst, right? We felt the effects of it last night, but how do they form? Try to remember your high school science and geography. So clouds generally form when air rises and cools and the water vapor condenses into water droplets. Now that rising motion is called an updraft. The strong updraft then pushes these droplets upwards, and some of them freeze to form ice near the middle and top parts of the cloud. But once the droplets become ice and become large enough, the updraft weakens because they become a bit heavy. Then they start to fall. So while they're falling, they drag a lot of the air down with it, and that's called a downdraft. Simple so far, right? Now, outside of the thunderstorm last night, winds near the mid-levels of the thunderstorm were moderate in strength, and that caused the downdraft inside of the thunderstorm to speed up. When the downdraft hits the ground, it spreads rapidly in all directions, and this is called a downburst. For comparison, imagine water streaming out of a faucet, then spreading upon hitting the base of the sink. Now, while we were not directly under the thunderstorm, Trinidad experienced strong winds behind the gust front. Now, this was very difficult to see on the satellite during the night unless you know what you're looking for. And this arc is the gust front approaching Trinidad and Tobago. It's a very subtle feature located just about here, and then by around 9:20 p.m. it was over our eastern coast of Trinidad and then over to the west coast by 10 p.m. Now this is why we always warn of gusts when thunderstorms are in the forecast, and it's not the first time I've shown these arcs on the satellite. Now, on to current conditions. We have the intertropical convergence zone just on our doorstep, which will give us relatively wet conditions over the next few days. Further away, we have tropical wave number 17, which we can expect in about 5 days or so. So the forecast for tonight, partly cloudy conditions with some scattered showers and the chance of 1 or 2 isolated thunderstorms later on in the night, favoring southern and eastern areas of Trinidad. Overnight lows of 24 in Trinidad and 25 in Tobago. Tomorrow, those partly cloudy conditions are likely to continue with showers scattered throughout the day. If we do get a bit of sunshine and heating in the morning, we likely get 1 or 2 thunderstorms during the afternoon again. But conditions should become generally settled by the evening. Sea conditions are moderate with waves up to 2 meters in open waters and less than 1 meter in sheltered areas. Winds out of the east-southeast at about 15 knots, but the occasional gust can be experienced near those heavy showers. Looking ahead, relatively wet conditions from tomorrow due to the ITCZ. Thunderstorms still possible over the weekend, just a little bit less likely on Saturday. Then late Sunday into Monday, we should see some improvement, but then tropical wave number 17 can be expected on Tuesday. So I did make mention of the gusts in my seas forecast last night, but it was hardly a warning of what was expected to come.
Yeah, it was quite terrifying to experience that level of gusts. Thank you so much, Jean-Marc. Well, still to come in the news, autistic student overcomes obstacles to excel in SEA. Tonight, he has a message for those with special needs.
Your heart does so much for your body, your life, your loved ones. But modern stress, diet, and lifestyle can tip the balance, especially with every passing day. Heart XL delivers high-potency omega-7 palmitoleic acid from sustainable pollock oil to elevate HDL and support a healthy metabolism.
Inflammation and low HDL put your heart at risk. Heart XL's omega-7 helps reduce C-reactive protein and support healthy HDL, keeping your heart strong.
Heart XL. Nourish your heart. Sustain your life.
Food basket. Food basket, nation's #1 supermarket, bakery, restaurant, meat market, fresh producers, everything fantastic. For everyday low price, things real nice. Come in once, but to come back twice. Wholesale retail, everything for you. A remuch, I wanna shop, flake of you. Food basket, the nation's #1 supermarket, bakery, restaurant, meat market, fresh producers, everything fantastic. Food basket, hypermarket, Arima, where shopping is a pleasure and the price is right.
Nature's Ways Alive Kids Gummies are multivitamin gummies meant to support the development of children's bodies like their bones, muscles, joints, brain, heart, and also their immune health. Choose Alive Kids Gummies by Nature's Way because they deserve it.
Get a loan at Bremont. The process is simple. Fast and efficient approvals. Receive funds within 24 hours once approved. And no penalty for early repayment. Located at 4 Gallas Street, Woodbrook. Remember, we like to lend.
Visit Tire Clinic Marketing, New Truck and OTR Tire Service Center at number 30 and 32 Montrose Main Road, Chabonas. Call today at 665-8973 or 672-3419. Alignment services available. Tire Clinic Marketing, Truck and OTR Service Center. A tire for every need. Dress like you mean business. At The Working Woman, we bring you stylish, professional looks made for the modern woman. From casual to formal workwear, we've got your professional wardrobe covered.
The moment my children came into my life, I do everything I can for them to live healthy, enjoyable lives. Nature's Ways Alive Kids Gummies are multivitamin gummies meant to support the development of children's bodies. They come in delicious fruit flavors and contain natural plant-based pectin. This means that if I'm looking for an alternative to animal-based gelatin for personal reasons, they are the best choice for my little ones. Choose Alive Kids Gummies by Nature's Way for your children because they deserve it.
Food basket. Food basket, nation's #1 supermarket, bakery, restaurant, meat market, fresh producers, everything fantastic. For everyday low price, things real nice. Come in once, but to come back twice. Wholesale retail, everything for you. A remuch, I wanna shop, flake of you. Food basket, the nation's #1 supermarket, bakery, restaurant, meat market, fresh producers, everything fantastic. Food basket, marketplace Chaguanas, where shopping is a pleasure and the price is right.
Science calls it AMPK, your body's built-in system for burning fat, balancing blood sugar, and fueling energy. Berberine Plus naturally supports AMPK, helping you feel better, live better, be better. Available at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Berberine Plus, powerful results naturally.
He's just 12 and he's already a survivor and a warrior. Zachary Rochford lives with a heart condition and was recently diagnosed on the autism spectrum.
But this year, he passed for one of Tobago's most prominent schools, Bishop's High School. Elizabeth Gonzalez sat with Zachary and his mother, Jamil Duncan Rochford, at their Canby home for this story.
I wasn't expecting to pass Bishop's either. But I want to thank my mom for making me, for working hard.
That was the moment that broke his mother. Zachary, who is level 1 on the autistic spectrum and is high functioning, admitted that he could feel his heart thumping before the interview even started. But when he spoke, he was graceful, slow, careful, like a boy who just wanted to make his mother proud. After years of medical emergencies and educational obstacles, Zachary didn't just pass. He kept his word and made his mother proud.
There are times when I used to get up in the night and I would get up and I would cry and I would plead to God, stating that, I just want him to pass.
Zachari's story began with a serious diagnosis. He was born with an enlarged liver, and that was merely the beginning.
And from that, it turned out that he had dilated hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. So it has been a lot of clinic visits, a lot of back and forth in Trinidad and Tobago, and it has been really difficult.
He was also diagnosed with auditory processing disorder. This is when the brain has trouble making sense of sounds. It affects understanding speech, especially in noise. Yet this quiet boy is ready for the next chapter. Nervous? Yes. Surprised? Extremely, but ready and excited.
I feel confident and nervous at the same time, but ready for Form 1.
He loves math, even the hard parts like fractions. He has a message for students like him, feeling scared to take up challenges.
Secondary school, the work might be a bit harder. So be brave, stay confident, and do your best.
And his mother sent a strong message of hope to other parents.
Don't give up. There are resources out there that you need to tap into. Everywhere you go, you try to talk about your situation and you never know. You just need one person to believe in you.
Zachary didn't just pass. He overcame every obstacle, every fear, with one person beside him, every step of the way. And for that, Head of the Autistic Society, Amoy Budu, praised him. She says while resources are limited in schools, the Autistic Society offers occupational therapy, social intervention programs, and training for teachers and parents using evidence-based strategies that benefit students like Zachary. Elizabeth Gonzalez, CNC3 News.
What an amazing story.
Congratulations to him.
We're very proud of you, Zachary. And Jovan, we're also very proud of our women cricketers.
Of course we are. Coming up in sport, Akash, second win on the trot, and it's a big one for TNT's Rising Stars woman. And Makeda Bain wins it all at the National Racquet Centre. Hear about her day when sport returns.
You can make your goals unfold, go get it. Join the team, let's do this. You can get the help you need to succeed with Rand Credit Union. You can believe that you can achieve big goals, small ones too. Rand Credit Union, we've got you. No more waiting, that won't do. Make someday today. One life, so make it good. Live the way you know you should. With Rand Credit Union, yes you could. Make someday today.
Live your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
New Superstay Teddy Tint from Maybelline, New York. Blurred mattes, no transfer. Up to 12-hour wear and a plush feel. New Superstay Teddy Tint, Maybelline, New York.
Plumbing problems? Don't guess. Call Plumbing Solutions at 628-4646. Proud to be serving Trinidad and Tobago for over 20 years. We do it all. Maintenance and repairs, new construction, sewer lines, inspection, drain cleaning, leak detection. We are licensed and insured. So call Plumbing Solutions at 628-4646.
It's Christmas in July at Bright Ideas, and we're turning up the heat with our biggest event yet, Slay the Savings. From tents to tables, your favorite store is packed like a Christmas tree with real deals on stuff you actually want. Kitchen, bedroom, decor, and more. From mega combos to unbelievable discounts to once-a-year deals, it's all out and ready to grab now. Every day, check out Facebook and Instagram to see what we're unwrapping next. Can't make it in store? No problem. Shop online at brightideashomestore.com or download the Bright Ideas mobile app. It's festive, fabulous, and only while stocks last. Bright Ideas, Slay the Savings is on.
There's something here for everyone, from baby to adult. Anything you need, it is right here at Food Basket Super 99.
Food Basket Super 99, affordable and trendy. Food Basket Super 99 Arima, where fashion meets affordability.
Dust from the Saharan Desert, over 6,000 kilometres away, travels across the Atlantic to our little island, filling the air we breathe with tiny dust particles that can trigger an inflammatory response when inhaled into the lungs.
Saharan dust travels far and triggers inflammation. Omega XL helps reduce it at the source. Support your body from within.
Welcome back. It's time for sport. After roughly a year and a decision to move on from the name, the impasse surrounding the Soca Warriors trademark saw some progress today. More in this report. This morning's meeting was attended by Selwyn Melville, his lawyer, marketing consultant and spouse, TTFA Vice President Colin Murray, the FA's sole representative, and Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs, David Naked. All three sides report a degree of cordiality. Murray acknowledged a breakdown of communication before government's intervention in the matter, but says now there is a way forward.
He wanted to know what was our position. I said, well, our position hasn't really changed. So he's going to come back to us with two types of proposals. One where if we still want a buyout, we can go with that. Or secondly, he's opted for a marketing proposal where we could sort of share revenue and things like that going forward.
Its first VP says the TTFA will consider both proposals once they receive them. All parties appear interested in arriving at a resolution as early as next week.
We are now preparing to go back to the drawing board, finalize our discussions, see what we have to come up with to please the people of Trinidad and Tobago and ensure that the name Soca Warriors continue within the football campaign. And we're looking forward to quality action from our people, and also what we have to do in the future by securing the name Soca Warriors, and we hope that everything goes well.
Naked says the agreement in principle is a significant step toward closing the gap between the TTFA and Melville, but says the government is only prepared to function as an arbiter rather than a financier of any resolution.
These are independent entities. This is a man who has a right, and this is the TTFA who is an NSO, and we have no obligation other than to try as a representative of the taxpayers of Trinidad and Tobago, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, is to try and find a solution that we go forward and get our team into the World Cup.
Minister of Sport Philip Watts oversees what was briefed on this morning's meeting and underlined the government's position, saying financial intervention was not economically viable and throwing his support behind the TTFA's rebranding effort. Murray says the TTFA has shelved the renaming effort for the time being, but notes significant interest already. Trinidad and Tobago's under-19 women's cricketers will play for the West Indies Rising Stars third place on Saturday after they defeated reigning champions Guyana at the National Cricket Centre today. Ian Wason explains how skipper Brianna Haricharan rallied her team with an all-round performance.
Guyana would have regretted choosing to bat first after finding themselves at the mercy of the Trinidad and Tobago bowlers. Captain Brianna Haricharan and Vice Captain Amrita Ramtahar leading the way. They tormented the top order, leaving them in shambles at 17 for 5 in 9.1 overs. A partnership of 40 between Tia Isaacs and Latoya Williams got them past 27 and took the Guyanese to 57 before Isaacs was Haricharan's fourth wicket at 57 for 6. She made 12. The skipper got her fifth wicket when she bowled Latoya Williams for 16. Guyana were eventually bowled out for 70 in 26.4 overs. Haricharan took 5 for 20, while Ramtahal took 3 for 13 and Kanika Kassar took 2 for 2. The home side stuttered at the start of their reply with Ramtahal out for a duck and Zakia Harilal for 9, leaving them at 27 for 2. Haricharan joined Christina Naipol, who made a top score of 15 before she was out-caught with a score on 36. Haricharan and Samira Naidu put on a 21-run partnership until Naidu was out for 10. And Haricharan was out for 11 to leave the home team at 57 for 5, just 14 runs away from victory. TNT was made to sweat but eventually got to 71 for 8 to win by 2 wickets and go third in the standings with 12 points, level with Leewards but with a lesser run rate. The Leewards and Barbados will play for the title at the Diego Martin Sports Complex on Saturday. On the same day, the home team will play Jamaica for the third place at the UE Spec St. Augustine, and Guyana and Windward Islands play for fifth at the National Cricket Centre in Vancouver. Ian Wason, CNC3 Sport.
Thanks, Ian. Now, former West Indies director Baldath Mahabir and cricket educator Kumar Rampat have been warning the methods used to groom the next generation of coaches. The pair agreed with criticisms about the quality of coaching in the region.
The West Indies once ruled the cricketing world, but a rapid fall from grace has brought 2 decades of struggle. Even though the regional team can boast of exceptional individuals during the last 30 years, the group has failed to rally more times than not. Of particular concern to Clark Road Cricket Club President Baldath Mahabir is a rebuild progressing on unconvincing foundation.
And I can tell you in Trinidad, as a club president, we struggle to get good coaches. All the good coaches are older men. The Roland Sampats, the Tony Grays, the Kumar Rampats. These fellas are older gentlemen. We have lost Dashrat Maharaj. We have lost Bechan Buchun, who did 1-3 on 15 titles back to back for us. Tony Gray is still there. But the younger coaches, no sir.
Mahabir adds that players are not being developed for the demands of the international game quickly enough. To help get West Indies back on an upward trajectory, experienced coach Kumar Rampat believes youth cricket development should be limited to the red ball format.
I think that they should play red ball cricket with red ball rules up to about 17, 18. Of course, you'll have some geniuses who will come a little better and that you could graduate a little earlier. And you could graduate them to the higher levels. And up to the plain basic cricket, the red ball cricket. And afterwards, that's 17, 18, and you can send them into white ball wherever they want to go now.
The comments and criticisms continue even as Cricket West Indies convenes a committee of former captains to find a way to return cricketing glory to the archipelago. Ian Wason, CNC3 Sport.
Thanks, Ian. And one of those former captains, Brian Lara, says talent retention is one of the keys to the Windies' revival. The 3-stint Test captain is also suggesting scaling our ambitions for the greater good of the game.
We played first-class cricket, and some of us even played county cricket to try to get into the West Indies team. We are now using the West Indies team as a stepping stone, as a stage for us to get, contracts around. And that is not a fault of the player.
Former West Indies captain Brian Lara laying bare the bleak reality of West Indies cricket to a worldwide audience. Lara was a guest on Stick to Cricket alongside former English internationals Sir Alistair Cook, Michael Vaughan, David Lloyd and Phil Tufnell, where he placed the blame squarely on Cricket West Indies' inability to pivot with the changes.
So you have the aggressive players like the Purans who just retired at age 29, 30. I think it's pretty transparent why you would retire, because there's 5 or 6 leagues around the world and you're picking up quite a large sum of money with those leagues. So yes, and I have no problem with that. Right. I mean, I don't think the West Indies Cricket Board and administration has done anything to keep guys loyal to the West Indies cricket, like say England has done or Australia has done, and I mean India, is doing.
Lara, who retired from West Indies cricket at 38, spent the latter portion of his career carrying his bat and the regional side against the odds. He expressed the belief that our size as a region can ultimately be our strength.
I still believe that with only 1,000 Test cricketers, or less, much less than 1,000 West Indian cricketers in 100 years, you don't need a big pool, you just need the talented pool. And you can find it, go find it. You don't need hundreds of thousands playing cricket. You just need a few playing cricket, look at them, concentrate on them, and provide them with the best, and that's what we're not doing.
In tennis, Tobago's Makeda Baines completed a clean sweep of titles at the Sagicor Junior Tennis Tournament at the hard court in the... Caston Cupid has more.
Tobagonian-born Makeda Bain won the first of her 3 finals when she swept aside Chevidane Sylvester in the girls' under-14 singles in straight sets 6-3, 6-2 yesterday. Today, the 13-year-old returned to take the under-16 girls' title as well, beating Madison Khan 6-4, 6-3. In the under-18 girls' singles final, top seed Madison Khan in the green vest and white shorts brushed off her earlier title defeat and took care of Laurelie Maynard. Khan capturing the title with a straight sets victory 6-2, 6-1. Khan, the newly crowned under-18 champ, teamed up with the under-14 and under-16 champion Makeda Bain as the two defeated the pair of sisters Sira and Sarai Ramcharan in straight sets 6-2, 6-2. Earlier in the day, Josiah Hills in the near court lost the under-16 finals to Christopher Khan 1-6, 6-2, 10-8 in the tiebreak, but returned to avenge that defeat when the two met in the under-18 finals. Hills recorded his victory in straight sets 6-3, 6-4. In the last match of the tournament, both Hills and Khan put their rivalry aside and took the senior men's doubles title, inflicting a 7-5, 6-3 flogging on Jack Brown and his partner, Jacob Jasilon. Caston Cupid, CNC3 Sport.
For Sport High tonight, we head over to some quarterfinal action in the UEFA Women's Euros as England and Sweden squared off. Enjoy.
With 10 minutes to go, Sweden thought their 2-0 lead against England was unassailable. But here came the 3 Lions roaring back with 2 goals in 3 minutes. Yes, just what the coach ordered to force extra time. Now England went on to win on penalties, 3-2. So to the English ladies, for that never give up mentality and booking your spot in the semi-final, you earn tonight's CNC3 Sport High.
That's it for sport.
All right, thank you so much, Joma. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Get the best in affordable eyewear. Frames with blue filter lenses and eye exam, $399. Single vision lenses with transitions on designer frames, $799. Progressive transitions with designer frames, $1,399. Happening only at Seaview Optical. Affordable eye care for everyone.
Recession have you down? Don't lose hope. Head on down to Tire Clinic for the recession deals. That should big savings with our road hazard warranty on Dunlop, Sumitomo, and Falcon tires. Available at Tire Clinic, Couva, Chagonas, and Pleasance Park. Tire Clinic, a tire for every need. Call 636-8973 or 636-2958.
There's a powerful switch inside your body, AMPK. It tells your system to burn fat, balance blood sugar, and boost energy. Berberine Plus activates AMPK naturally, supporting metabolism, weight management, and healthy insulin function. Available now at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Berberine Plus, powered by AMPK, perfected by nature.
In the face of what officials warn is a dengue crisis waiting to happen, Cabinet has activated a major interministerial initiative to combat and prepare the country against a possible dengue threat.
A wide-scale cleanup and source reduction program is set to unfold across TNT. At the heart of the effort is a renewed deployment of the Unemployment Relief Program, now under the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government, to support labor-intensive operations such as vacant lot clearing. Yesterday, Minister Khadija Amin was joined by Health Minister Dr. Lakram Bodo and Minister Dr. Rishad Sitcharan, Parliamentary Secretary Dr. Narendra Rupnarayan, along with public health officers and regional corporation officials.
We will discuss increasing the manpower at the regional corporation, but also because the URP is now under the Ministry of Local Government, we can source labor there. And I've already raised this to the program manager at URP for us to have specialized units dealing with vacant lots clearing under the directive of the regional corporation.
The Health Minister, Dr. Lakram Bodo, presented the latest statistics stating that as of July 2025, there are 0 confirmed dengue cases. It's time to recap our headlines. Horrific discovery in Valencia as Candace Honore's body is found chopped and stuffed into a suitcase.
To supplement human resource shortfall, Cabinet approves the absorption of 800 SRPs into the police service.
In sport, progress at last as the TTFA, Selwyn Melville and Ministry of Sport meet to discuss Soca Warriors' identity.
And in the weather, occasional showers overnight into tomorrow with 1 or 2 isolated thunderstorms during the morning and afternoon.
Well, we've come to the end of the 7 p.m. news on CNC3. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Rhea Rambali.
I'm Akash Samar.
I'm Jovan Ravello.
And I'm Jean-Marc Rampasad. Have a good night.